Hey guys, I thought I'd pop in and surprise you halfway through, because most of this is going to be fast forward, sped up. And I wanted to do a recap on some of these things. So the idea behind this was that by cutting one die cut, you'd end up being able to make and stamping it the way that I showed you, just before this, means that you can get make four cards out of what you've done by stamping, if that makes sense. So in other words, this is the original one that we die cut out of here. Then this piece was placed on a white piece of cardstock, and this one was placed on a white piece of cardstock, and then we stamped them. So when you then remove all these pieces, you've got enough pieces or panels to make 4 cards. Excuse me. So that's what we're doing. So I just wanted to come in and sort of explain that, and then I thought I may as well just finish the cards while I'm here. So with the gingerbread men, this one I'd used crumb cake cardstock and cherry cobbler cardstock, and I've put some old olive little enamel dot type things on there, and then just used a peachy keen stamp for his face and decorated him a bit. This one was some old see, I messed up on another card, some watercolour paper, and I used the same inks to colour them in, and then, like you saw, I'd used a distress sprayer just with some water to spritz on there. But look how different they look, and they are the same colour. That's mad. I think that's so mad. Now it could also be that this, being watercolour paper, was different to our regular, I stamped the little's face there, excuse me, being different to if I'd used Whisper White, or depending on the paper you use, you will get a slightly different effect. But I just couldn't believe how different they look. Like, even their bow ties are so different. The red's so different. Anyway, on the bow ties, talk about them, I used a Wink Stella. I did this off camera because I knew it was going to take a while. I used a Wink Stella on the bow ties. It's just a, for those who don't know, it's just like a brush nib, and it's got like shimmery, it's got a gold fleck in it, as opposed to the what's the other one that I used, Crafter's Companion, the Spectrum Noir ones. They have a white glitter in them. So I did that, let it dry, and then I used some glossy accents over the top, and it makes it super shiny and 3D and divine. And then just some dot details to like his cheeks, and like his face, you can't really see his face there, so I might stamp that again just in some black, just so it stands out a bit more. If yeah, I'll do that off camera so I can get right over the top. So what I've done here is I've taken 2 pieces of old olive, and because our cardstock in the UK is A4, I've trimmed it down to what did I work out? I had to work this out last night. So this is now 10 3/4. Excuse me. And by 4 1/8. So 4 1/8 will be your A4 on the length of it, the long ways. So that way. It will be in half, or should be more or less in half, depending on manufacturers and all that. They might have it slightly wider, but not quite 8 1/2 wide, if you know what I mean. So 4 1/8, sorry, wide. Should trim it down the long ways down, to give you half an A4, and then, like I say, I trimmed it to 10 3/4 long, and then when you fold it, you'll fold it at 5 3/8. I know, I don't like working in eighths because I get really confused. Excuse me. But that is so that my panels, these panels, which are, just double check, these are 4 by 5 1/4. It's so that they'll fit on here with the least amount of this wasted. I might do it that way in future and just have a smaller, teeny tiny little border around there, as opposed to 1/4 inch. I've got 1/8 of an inch. I don't know, it's still smaller than an 8. Let me show you. It's still going to be smaller than an A2, so the A2 is that much bigger, so I don't know, but this is what I'm going with for these. I'm mixing it up. So I think what I'll do is I'll go, not totally sure what I'm doing yet. Oh no, these two I do, beg your pardon. So I'm going to put him on there, and he's going to go in the middle there. Let me just re-stamp his face. So it's going to be quite a simple, I can put my ink. Still going to be quite a simple card, you know, nothing fancy. So I'm going to attempt, she says, to get this over the top of here as best I can anyway. Oh, yay, that worked. And I could have actually, thinking about it now, I could have actually used, and I pressed a bit hard, but I could have used a sepia version of this instead of the onyx black. That's probably what I should have used. But anyway, he's there, he's good. Right, so I'm just going to stick this together. If I can find my tape. Oh, run out again. Sorry about that. And these just seem to want to run out quite quickly. They're very good tape, but I do find they run out. Right, so just got to remember this has got a teeny tiny little border all the way around. Do you see? And I'm going to pop him up in some pop dot things. Just, you know, it's Christmas and all that. Oh no, I think I want some on his legs. I know. Weird as that is. Ugh. Just cutting it in half. Can you even see what I'm doing? Okay. So, I thought this was kind of cool because I've made my own little embellishment dude. Isn't he cute? And this dried so much clearer, so much lighter. Excuse me. So remember that your inks will stamp darker than what they dry, if that makes any sense. And then I think on these, I'm not sure yet what I'm going to do to embellish them. We'll see. I'll just get the main bits stuck together and then I'll see what I decide. Oh. And the same thing again. This panel. He's going to sit on the just on the side and just going to have him about there. And again, I'm not sure what I'm doing for embellishments. I need something on there, I think. I mean, they're quite cute as they are, but I just think that it needs a little something else. So I'll put those to one side just for now. And on these two, right, well this one, I'm going to, I think I'm going to keep them all flat. Am I? I could keep them flat, or I could raise that like a so. You could easily make that into a shaker card, by the way. If you put a piece of acetate behind here, flat on there, and then foam to close off, like make an area, like a little cup. You could then put some shaker elements in there. I'm going to 3D them. Just looking at both of them, thinking these are the pieces. Should make these ones 3D. No, I'm just going to stick them flat. Let's just do them all flat. Flat, flat. And let's see. We're just sticking it straight on there. Oh, that's not straight at all. Dear me. And what I'm going to do, oh, I should have, I'm so silly. I could have used this as a template so that I could just stick this one flat on this card. Now I've got to just kind of guess. Never mind. So it would be like so. I mean, it doesn't really matter because it's going to be its own card, if you know what I mean, but it's just one of those silly things. Right, so I've still got these, although they're very blurred out on here now because the ink's kind of sat there all night, but I have still got these. So I'm going to, which one am I going to use? So on here I've got the Season's Greeting in the middle one, and then the one with the round but it's got the greeting at the bottom, if that makes sense. So I think I'm going to do the opposite greeting. So for this one I'm going to do Season's Greetings. Just carefully line it up. Oh, I need the ink pad, that would be useful. And I'm going to do, should I do tone on tone? Yeah, let's do tone on tone. So I'm going to use Old Olive ink. I've missed doing videos where I talk. Maybe most of the series will be like this. Even my husband said that the other day. He said, I think that's what it was. He came in while I was filming, and he said to me, I miss your videos where you talk. Didn't actually know he watched them. I knew he did to start with, but I didn't think he did now. They surprise you. They really do. Right. So season's greetings. And do you see how much dark? I mean, I know this is on old olive cardstock, but you see how much darker it is when you first stamp it. That will lighten. So that's going to be that one. Let's get this one. Line it up. Oh, for those who don't know, this is a Stamp-A-Majig. So you get this plastic sheet and you use it to sort of line up so that you can get your stamps where you want them. And I'm just putting that back in there. I'll do another video so you can see it. I think I have actually, I'm not sure. But especially for red rubber, you see, like, this doesn't actually have anything on the back, so I don't know where or what angle I'm stamping this at. So that to me could look straight like so, or it could look straight like that, but I can't actually see what it's doing, so that's where a Stamp-A-Majig is really handy. Right, so that's done. So now I need to work out what I'm actually going to put on this one. On these two, sorry. Should I do more gingerbreads? Gingerbready men? People? Let me see what I can find, and then I'll come back. I think that's what I'll do. Let me see if I can find something else. all I did in the end was I just finished them off because the video is going to be really long by the look of it. And so my little girl there, I put her on the opposite side to her matching one, if you like, and just added some sequins just as an added thing. I didn't know what to do for embellishment. You could have left it plain, but I think all these added little bits, it just you know, ties in nicely. Something else I might do, actually, I've just thought of it, is use a white Sakura gel pen and just add little dots in these, like, what's the word, like the scalloped edge, just as another added touch. Oh, I need to actually I need to add the detail to the, like I did for these guys, so I need to actually do that to the girls. So and then the same on this one, I've just added a couple of sequins and stuck them on the same way. And that pretty much finishes them off. Again, I'm probably going to put some white details around the edges there. On these ones, I probably won't put anything. Not sure. Or I might just leave them as they are. So I'm just going to finish up these guys, and then that's it. So these are the four little cards. Really easy. Very cool idea. I saw this on Jennifer Maguire's post, and I'm just going to quickly, even though this is Christmas, I'm just going to quickly show you the 4 cards that I tried originally to see how this would work. Now, for these 4 I used one big meaning and 4 of the thank yous, so I know I need thank you cards, and then Picture Perfect, I used the rose on that, and it is a 2-step or 3-step process. So in the end, to do the same thing, because, you know, I couldn't help myself, in the end, to do the same thing, so this is the die cut piece and this is the die cut piece, and these are the 2 flat pieces that were as a result of laying that in this section here, and on this one, this is the center of where this would have stamped. So what happened in the end with these is that it actually was quite hard to do. I needed 21 different colour inks because I decided to do rainbow. So I've got 3 for each of the colours, and then 6 colours, and then 3 greens for the leaves, which you can only really see on these 2. You can see a bit of green on those. So yeah, so it was and very time consuming. So if you want to just chill out, and that's why I didn't video this one, because I knew it was going to take me a long time. So if you know that you just want to try something out first, or you know, you just want to practice your 2-step stamping, you don't necessarily need 21 colours. I happen to have 21 colours because I have got all the Stampin' Up colours, so it means that I can just mix and match all of those. Excuse me. And yeah, so that's how that worked out. But on this one, what I did was I cut it down, so all 4 pieces, like with the Christmas ones, they all started out the same size. All 3 pieces, sorry. This one I used a lawn fawn stitched rectangle and just die cut it slightly smaller, because I thought with the size of that piece there, which was I think a Labels 5 spellbinder die, there was just too much cream space or vanilla space. So I used a glitter tape, this same one here, and just edged the edge of the card, of the actual card base, with the tape, and then that fit over the top. So it looks like I've got this glittery paper in the background, and then added a butterfly. I've had this for years, never known what to do with them. And then I had a piece of I think this is Perfect Plum, But all the colours here, so like these two colours, this base card here and this one, are all colours that are within the 21 colours, so I knew they would work together. Obviously the white base, there's no white in it, so that's why I also decided to add the gold in there as well, just so that it was different colour. What else did I do? Oh, this I used a brick embossing folder just to give it a bit of texture in the background. And then I wanted to bring the gold glitter in again, so I just added a strip across it and then made it look almost like a little label, and then added a butterfly again and popped that up. This one was the one that's got where the die cut came out of, so I popped that up on some foam. And this one actually, because I cut it down slightly, I actually cut it wrong. So the bow here, or bow, the square knot, is to kind of distract from the fact that this is actually off-centered. So yeah, you make it work. I just didn't want to waste it because it was all this, you know, all the time it took to do that as well. And it's not perfect. Look, I stamped all over it. Got my finger in the ink. So that's just to kind of balance it out a bit more, so it looks more central-ish. But yeah, and that's just tied round this vanilla piece before I stuck it down. And then this one, I just used some of these glittery, can't think what they're called, faceted gems, I think, from Stampin' Up. They're very, very trendy, and they're very cool and a bit mesmerising. So yeah, and then the black ink is just a VersaFine, which I use in most of the time. So yeah, that's it. I thought I'd show you. This was the test, and this took me forever. So that kind of thing I won't probably do on video, because it really did take a long time to do, and you have to line them all up and each layer. Not that the actual lining up is difficult, but I had to do it twice for each one. And then also you have to, like with the Christmas ones, I used the stamp press, what's it called, positioning tool, stamp, like a Misty. I keep wanting to call it a Misty, it's not, it's the Hampton art one. So I could go back and go back and go back with ink, whereas these I couldn't, so I had to put a lot of pressure on because they were going through 2 layers of card. This, say, the bottom piece here, and then this one as well for this particular one. So it's worth doing because the effect can be quite good. I think I needed a better shape, or a simpler shape as well. I think that would help. So even on the Christmas ones, I think if I'd used just a regular circle, that would have worked as well, or something simple like a heart or something like that, which is what Jennifer used. I think that would have maybe turned out a bit better. So there you go, guys. So I've got 4 thank you cards ready to go, and I have 4 Christmas cards ready to go too. So mix it up a bit here. So there you go, guys. Hope that was helpful. Hope you have picked up some tips there, and I want to thank Jennifer for showing us in the first place, because I'd never seen that before, so that was really good. Really nice technique to do. So there you go, 4 more cards done. Yay! And I will see you in the next one. Bye!